welcome back to All Over the Place, the official podcast of Media Pub Live. I'm your host, Eric Provoznik. Jim Culver in the house. Well, he was, yeah, there he is. Hey, Jim,
here.
how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
I'm awesome. Very, very awesome. And
right on.
As you can see from the albums behind, there's a music guest coming in today, musical guests.
Woohoo!
Pearl coming in today. Christine, I know I'm excited about the musical guest as well. Hello, my dear. And Marty, Marty's going to be bipping in at some point today. He says he's joining us, so knock on wood there, because I know Marty's another music guy. But with us today, a hot new band coming up. They're so hot, their album isn't even released yet. However, it's an album released by one of my all-time favorites, a former guest on the show. We'll get to that in a little bit, but he's over that right shoulder right there. And Freedom Rockets. How are you guys doing? And we've got four of the band members. They're five-piece, a quintet, if you will. And four of them are together. And Chetty, Mike, their guitarist, is at the Guns N' Roses show. So we're going to make sure we are keeping it tight, getting him back to GNR. And Chetty, you just saw the Pretenders. How awesome were they?
They were fantastic. They were great.
Did they close with my favorite song, Mystery Achievement, again?
They did.
Oh,
Yes.
That bass line. I used to play bass a long time ago, and that bass line is super sweet. So glad you got to see them. We'll get you back to GNR, and and I'm going to run. I've mentioned Chetty now. Chetty's on guitar, and also we got Jimmy Bishop. And you guys, as I introduce you, there we go. Jimmy, guitar and vocals. Adam Machado on the drums.
Hey.
Luke Shank, bass and vocals as well. And Colin Harrington on the keys and sax.
How's it going?
I'm very excited to see you occasionally playing the sax. That you get those Memphis horns in there, and also as a kid who grew up in the 70s and 80s, and it's not really your style yet, but if you want to get goofy and do some of your style on the NXS, Duran, Huey Lewis and the News, the heat is on, little Glenn Fry, and maybe I Still Believe, the Lost Boys version with Tim Capello. That sax will come in handy on all of those.
Yeah.
And I mentioned at the top of the show your album coming. Actually, Jimmy, go ahead and tell us about the album that's coming up right now.
All right, yeah. So the record's called American Trash. We recorded the tracks back in December, January, at Bipolar Bear Studios in the Hudson Valley, and it should be coming out very soon.
Excellent. And I mentioned it was produced by a guy who's over my right shoulder here, Tommy Stinson, who I'm sure gave you guys a lot of great life lessons, bass lessons, music lessons. And from what I've read, it was a rather serendipitous meeting. What brought you guys together with, as far as I'm concerned, it was brought up when we had him on the show, the embodiment of rock and roll, Tommy Stinson. How'd you guys get involved with him?
Yeah, well, I mean, it actually took kind of a long time. You know, I've always been a big fan of all of Tommy's groups, Perfect, Bash and Pop, Guns N' Roses, as well as my dad. So when Tommy brought out Bash and Pop a couple of years back, me and my dad used to go to the shows all the time, and eventually we just got talking with Tommy, and that ultimately led to us Freedom Rockets doing a show with Cowboys in the Campfire about like a year ago, was that?
About 2 years ago.
2 years ago, so yeah. But then we got talking to Tommy as a band, and he was saying he'd love to record us. So we were psyched, and here we are now with the finished record coming on the way.
Very, very cool. And you forgot to mention a little band in there known as The Replacements, but I guess it goes without saying.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll get more into that. You know, you got the record above you. I see that.
There you go. That's so you mentioned your dad, and I always say that, the next generation is only as musically wise as their parents make them. So all you guys, what were the influences coming down, not just the bands you mentioned, Jimmy, but what were some of the other bands that you guys grew up listening to?
Yeah, well, I've always been more of a punk kind of guy, to touch upon their placements, like you were saying, with the Misfits. But then as a band, we take a lot of influence from, 70s supergroup Photomaker, like the Raspberries, even some kind of unknown stuff like Suicide Commandos and Big Dipper. Influences.
I'm definitely influenced by the band Placebo in the 1975. Like nowadays mixed with kind of 2000s early pop punk scene.
There's this band I've listened to. They're Platinum Moon. I actually love listening to them. I get most of my influence from them. I also love listening to the Replacements too, and the Big Dipper. I love Big Dipper's bass lines too, so that's where I get a lot of my influence from.
Very cool. And Colin, what about you? Both with the keys and the sax.
So, as mainly a keyboard player, I get a lot of influence from, I would say, older rock bands with heavy keyboards. I'm really into bands like Supertramp and Electric Light Orchestra, which also tend to have cool horn parts.
Yeah, what about you, Mike?
I definitely say the Neighborhoods and a little bit of Soul Asylum here and there.
Okay, well, and then you say Soul Asylum, and Adam, you brought up the Suicide Commandos. I'm sorry, yeah, Jim, you brought them up. The Suicide. I mean, it's Minneapolis bands, and just how is Tommy able to impart all of that stuff as someone who was in the trenches with all that stuff?
That's great. Yeah, the Minneapolis music scene is very, very cool. A lot of bands no one really talks about, but we're really into that. And I want to make sure I get this right, because you just credited PW on your Facebook site, and I may miss a word here and there, but it's like if there's a sense of, oh God, what if this is looked on as being stupid or weird? Well, that's usually a tip off it's worth doing. That's a Westerberg quote, if I'm not mistaken, correct? That is, yeah. I'm not really too involved with the social media. One of our managers, Gilbert Drone, handles that, makes all the big decisions. But yeah, that would be a Westerberg quote right there. And how much of an influence, you mentioned musically speaking, but lyrically speaking, a guy like Westerberg, I'm going to guess, is on the radar for you. Who else helps you there? Yeah, he's a fantastic songwriter. I take a lot of inspiration from him. He's great. I love him. And Tommy himself has evolved into quite an excellent songwriter too. I mean, it's just definitely all the various projects he's got going on. So yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, and very quickly, I want to introduce another of our co-hosts today, Mr. Marty Zamora. Marty, we got Chetty on guitar there, and the Freedom Rockets from back on the East Coast.
Sorry I was late.
You're here. That's the important part. And you've got a flag going on in the background that this is all good. American Trash is the album that's coming up from them. So you nailed it, my friend. Nailed it.
That flag's there every second.
And I also, over the left shoulder here, I've got some Slade as well. And I love that you guys, the way you're dressing up, looking a little Replacements like, and of course the Replacements doing the same thing as their homage to Slade. Was Slade on your radar musically or presentation wise, or did Tommy clue you into those guys at all?
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing with the outfits, it definitely was pulled from the Replacements, but also, the Beatles were kind of like the original guys to do it. We have always been kind of fascinated with like the matching kind of look, because that's kind of missing today in music. You never really see that kind of coordination and stuff. But we kind of like to bring the circus to the stage. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. And then that's one of the big things I love about you guys. You're up there, you're jumping around on stage, you're having fun.
It's all
which is what music should be. You're up there. I mean, take yourself seriously, but never take life too seriously. And
exactly. We're just having fun. That's the goal.
All it is.
Oh yeah.
You just happen to be really good at it.
Have a good time all the time.
All the time.
So, guys, how did you guys all get together? How did you go about putting the band together?
Bad fortune. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. Me, Adam, and Luke been playing for a while, and then we met Chetty and Colin at Lagana Music in Elmsford, New York, which is where we rehearse.
Okay.
So, I mean, how does it happen these days? Because, through the years, you put an ad up at a music store, or, just like the penny saver back in LA, the fanzine stuff like that. Did you guys know each other in school, or just various things, and then you just came together, or?
I don't know. Just a whole lot of right place, wrong time. I don't know. Just kind of happened, Bad luck. But it worked out pretty well.
And three people who have influences that aren't exactly your usual influences, especially in the 21st century.
Yeah, well, we're not your usual crowd.
That's and it's a very good thing. It's 3 chords and maybe a little bit of truth.
Yeah, we're still learning how to play the instruments. So.
Well, I wish there was more music that we could connect with. I know that your manager Dennis isn't for. I mean, just as the album's coming forward. But I'm Mosquito Crucifixion. I'm still able to pull that one up. So as someone who grew up in Ohio and Pennsylvania, just and I'm getting. What was the inspiration behind Mosquito Crucifixion, besides Humid Summers?
Yeah, well, that's actually a Suicide Commandos cover band I was talking about. Yeah, but that's a fun song. Kind of shows off Luke's bass skills. It's a fun one. Lots of jumps, crazy performance live. But yeah, it's one of the few tunes that we didn't write. When we made the record, we had some. It was mostly original, but some covers. To kind of pay some respect to the big bands that influenced us.
Very cool, very cool. And now, Marty, you're a guitarist who is accomplished a little bit more accomplished than I am, but just with the punk anthems. You're a Southern California guy who had the punk scene going on there. What's your take so far on Freedom Rockets?
Oh, outstanding. I really commend you guys for just being yourselves. I mean, I grew up in the punk scene and the way back punk scene, which, this was a lot of the, Black Flag, Dead Kennedys, Circle Jerks, that era.
It's the best.
Yeah. That's where I learned to play guitar. So I can, I play a lot of bar chords real fast. 35 years, I'm already this good. But loud and sloppy, that's my style.
Yeah, exactly.
Bar chords. See, I have only progressed as far as a power chord. So bar chord, no.
Well, yeah.
That's not.
We started taking some lessons. We're kind of learning some more stuff,
We're getting.
Well, you go fast enough, a bar chord just ends up being a power chord. It's just thrashing.
And as you guys are continuing to make yourselves known, I mean, you've had festivals. You're playing a lot of festivals. Recently, the Power of Music, Summer of Rock stuff coming up. Just with rock music, again, I don't know anymore because living in LA for as long as I did, it was always, just the pay to play down on the Sunset Strip still in the 21st century. But just how do you guys get out there and make yourselves known at just places to play?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's our whole thing. We just like playing the songs, having fun. We're always getting calls or whatever from local clubs in New Jersey, New York, Connecticut. We just always say yes. There's never an excuse not to play and get your name out there more,
And we did get a brief mention when we were talking to Dennis last week, getting you guys set to come on the show. Correct me if I'm wrong here, though. Adam, are you the one who's off to college down in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. Well, so Dennis informed us that you set it up with the school so that if you need to go on tour, you can pull yourself out. So
No.
No? I've been misinformed. So what's the arrangement like as you get ready to go?
We're going to kidnap him.
Okay, you did pay attention to Tommy. Very good.
Hey.
It's very
All
punk
for
rock.
the music.
He has no choice with us.
It's college or the
He's
band.
stuck.
I'm stuck with
He's
these guys,
stuck.
sadly. It's just bad fortune.
Wait, what was the question?
How I guess the only there is no arrangement. The arrangement is just going to be just someone bursts into your room and puts a bag over your head. You're going on tour for a few days.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's no need for a question on that one. Just Adam, just be ready. That's all.
Yeah.
Not like you're going to complain about being kidnapped to go on the road. Sure.
I have to get some more master locks for my dorm. The next question is going to be Adam goes to college. Stop me.
Wait, you need songs for album number 2.
Yeah, Adam goes to college.
And being with Tommy, what was it like being in the studio with him, and just in terms of whether it's stories he was teaching or just how to be a better band?
Yeah, I mean, not only is he like incredibly talented, but he's a very, very funny guy, Tommy. When we weren't recording tracks or figuring out parts, we'd always just be cracking up over something random, And the stories were that was very interesting. It was kind of cool because it kind of showed that we had somehow earned his trust because he'd be opening up about stories with his brother Bob when they were kids and stuff, and that kind of hit me especially hard too because I have a younger sister at home. So hearing stories about kind of like my idol and his family and siblings, it was very cool, but. It's very interesting. He's a great guy, Tommy. He's hilarious.
And are there any stories in particular that maybe were, helpful to steer through things a little bit more smoothly than the roads they went down?
Yeah, I think so, man. I don't know how much of it I can talk about. I don't want to get him in trouble. But
Yeah, I don't want to get anyone in trouble, but just a simple yes or no would suffice on that one.
yes.
Yo, Benny.
And Luke, as a bass player, what were you able to glean from Tommy?
He showed me a lot while we were recording.
He learned how to play bass.
Yeah. I spent an extra day with him because the first day all of my tracks messed up. So in those 2 days that I spent recording with him, he taught me things that I would never be able to think of in a million years. It's just like he knew how to do everything and he knew where to put everything in the most in the perfect way almost.
And I'm glad the remasters have been coming out too, because the bass lines are becoming much more prevalent. But I never realized that Alex Chilton had such an intricate yet cool.
Yeah, he's great. Alex Chilton's very cool. We're big fans of Big Star.
Never traveled far.
Yeah, never traveled far.
Paul Westerberg's he's the man. So yeah, I dropping rhymes in the PW fashion. It's almost a second language to me.
Oh yeah.
So I'm very. This is you guys just kind of following in that pattern. But now Tommy, now doing Cowboys in the Campfire, has got a little bit more of a twang with what he's doing now. How much was he able to step back into the punk aesthetics and where you guys are right now?
I don't know, man. I mean, it's all rock and roll to me. We just got guitar, bass, drums, little keys, just having fun. It's all rock and roll. It's all the same kind of stuff.
I heard something similar from the Vandaliers when we had them on earlier this year. So you guys should check them out. They're a punk with a little bit of country, but more of a punk band than anything. I think you would dig the Vandaliers.
I will check it out, man. Coolio.
And so you guys have been you've done shows with the Figs, and what's it been like for you guys to, and not just from Tommy, obviously in the studio and being a mentor beyond that, and of course Jimmy, you getting to hang with Tommy at the Guns N' Roses show.
Yeah.
So a band like the Figs, also some veterans from the years. Well, what's it been like sharing the stage with them and learning from them?
Yeah, that was quite an honor. That was a fun day. We had lots of cool kind of discussions backstage with them, they were throwing us some advice in the industry and stuff, and just even some songwriting tips and everything. But it was cool. Yeah, it was very, very cool. It was a fun day. Very honored to play with them. Maybe we'll hit round 2 soon.
Nice. And it just hit me that, Tommy, too young to be in the bars back in the Minneapolis days coming up. What's it like for you guys? I mean, just what's the scene like now for you guys having to just I know the Cellar is one of the places that you guys play semi-frequently. Got a show coming up at the end of September there, I noticed. Are there more all ages shows that you guys get to do, or is there rules that are bent? Like I know Eddie Van Halen had to have rules bent back in the day, being underage.
Yeah, it's a little mix, a little bit of both. It just depends on the gig, depends where it's at. But if we want to get our friends in, we make it happen.
I did notice quite a couple of swooning girls in the photos on Facebook. So always nice to have the fans there with you.
That's mostly because of me.
Well, just be a good bandmate, and never. I was about to say something. Never mind the verb that was going to come out of my mouth. I'm going to walk that back before it comes out of my mouth. So just be a good bandmate. That's all I'll say.
Come on, say it.
Be a good bandmate and share. Don't be greedy with the ladies. There. See, as Christina is cringing right now.
Okay, now mostly that's because I have 3 boys of my own, and 2 of them are about you guys' age. So I'm like, oh my goodness, wow. I can only imagine what it's like being in studio and out with you guys.
So I'm curious.
Get on a new subject, all right?
I'm curious. At these clubs,
I'm very good at making our guests blush.
Moving on.
So
So guys, when you guys play these clubs, what's the crowd like? The demographic really, because obviously pop music is with teenagers anyways. A lot of hip hop and also it being a club, not a lot of high school guys getting in there. So what's the crowd look like for you guys when you play?
That's the thing. We as a band, we all kind of love all those like old guitar kind of bands. And that's, we're trying to bring that back because there really hasn't been like a big kind of guitar with lots of solos and stuff band since like Nirvana in the 90s. So we try and put that into like the music we have, to kind of bring it back, but also make it appeal to like the younger audience. So then we do have an audience when we play at clubs. And, we've been building up a following, It's every show, there's more people. I mean, the other day at that festival, we had a good crowd. Everyone seems to enjoy it. I don't know what the appeal is, but people seem to like it. I'm pretty good looking, so that might be it. I don't know.
I don't know if I compare to the keyboard player, but all right.
He keeps falling every show. I don't know why.
You're the one pointing out all the ladies there, saying, "There I go again. I'm gonna get people."
No ladies, get off that dog.
I've read too many books. I've been to too many shows.
That's all he does.
If I don't fall down at a show, we consider that bad luck. I fall for every lady that falls for me.
Get out.
So let me ask you this question, guys. Like back in the day, they used to say, chicks and rock and roll. Is that really why you're doing it still?
Yes.
Is that hold true these days?
The only reason.
Want to meet chicks?
No.
No.
No, we're just having fun. I don't know, we just like getting together and playing tunes, and somehow we got to this point.
Yeah. I'm
That's
just
a
fun.
Trust me, guys, she's cool. You can answer honestly.
We need
She's
music to get chicks, We're a good-looking band.
Christine and I actually our relationship started over like I love Paul Westerberg and the Replacements. I learned that at a Tears for Fears show. So here we are now a year plus later. So
Great.
she's awesome people.
Ripping.
And again, she's got 3 boys, roughly your age. You can answer however you want.
I get it. It's okay. I was where you were once.
The only reason Christine even had a shot is because Westerberg wasn't available.
Thank you, Marty.
I've been watching that man crush for years.
There you go.
So, as the album's coming up, and just as it gets closer, and when it's released, and actually it's some cover songs. What are 3 songs that you would want people to hear from Freedom Rockets to get them hooked on you guys?
To get them hooked? Well, I'd say the title track, American Trash. That's one of our personal favorites. Well, they're kind of all personal favorites.
Yeah.
But,
For sure.
And then we got a song about Addison Rae on there. I'm not going to talk about that too much, but that one's a cool one. And then, I don't know, what's your
I
favorite
wouldn't
song?
lie. I think
Totally.
I think
I
I
Wouldn't
Wouldn't
Lie.
Lie is a great one.
What was that last one?
I Wouldn't Lie. But I mean, every song is good,
There you go. Of course.
There's something
Make
for
that
everybody.
clear.
Yeah. Adam's right. There's something for everyone, We
Now,
have-
are you keeping it punk and it's going to clock in at about a half an hour long?
I think it's about 45 minutes in total.
Oh, so that's the perfect length for an album, 45 to 50 minutes.
Yeah. But there's something for everyone, like Adam was saying, We won't talk about it too much because our manager Gobert doesn't want us to disclose too much yet, but
Gotcha.
it's something for the audience,
We'll keep it on the down low. Keep it there. Now, can you talk about Tommy's involvement beyond the production? Did he join you guys instrumentally or vocally for anything on the album?
No, that was just the band.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, obviously someone who's meant a lot to you influence-wise. Now, what song of yours would you want Tommy to maybe play at one of his shows?
For Tommy to play?
For Tommy to play.
Mosquito crucifixion.
Mosquito.
I just had no place. I think.
Mosquito. Everyone that's listening, you'll understand when this song comes out. That'd be great for him to do.
Nice. Now, Jimmy, you and Adam and Luke, you're the original trio on the band. So, but now, when and how did Chetty and Colin make it the 5-piece that it is today? And I guess Chetty or Colin, do you guys want to handle that one?
Yeah. So I met Jimmy and Adam through Lagan Music School, which we all three go to, and that's also where they met Mike.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just the mutual interest and just getting in and just making the band a little bit better.
Yeah, and also, I mean, as we kind of were writing songs and doing them in the rehearsal and stuff at Lagan Music as well, we kind of just kept adding parts and stuff, and it got to the point where, you know, even in the studio, we needed like more keyboard parts and like synth parts and stuff that are just being added to make the songs more full and cool and whatever. But so that's how we ended up with this one, Piano Boy. But yeah, you know, more parts, more fun, more guys.
I'm just so good at what I do, and like they couldn't resist me.
Yeah, and he's humble, which is great.
Girls love me also.
It's the fine line between clever and stupid and arrogance and confidence.
He's just stupid.
That's all he is.
He's brain dead. We're the most brain dead band. There's nothing going on up here.
Hey.
See, it's all about the fun. That's what I love about this.
I love you too.
Yeah.
I want to hear more music. I want to hear it now. And so now, Jim, I know like, when we had Tommy on the show, you were talking about just the various influences and just how prolific his career has been. Any questions about Tommy or with Freedom Rockets?
Well, not so much about Tommy, but just you guys mentioned some of your influences. But the ultimate question: if there was one band that's touring right now that you'd want to tour with, who would you pick?
I'm gonna take that. Guns N' Roses.
Wow.
Nice.
Thank you, Chetty.
Good choice.
Yeah, Chad.
Well, did I?
You're there, right, Chetty? You're there to line that up for you guys.
I hope so.
That would be cool, right?
Yeah.
Well, you have kind of the ultimate in, so it could happen.
Anything could happen.
That's right. Anything can happen.
Ah,
Nice pull out.
Little bash and pop quote there. Very
Yeah.
nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
I should have had my bash and pop poster in the background. I wasn't thinking today.
Yeah.
Oh no, it would have been a Cowboys in the Campfire.
Yes. Yeah. Great new version.
And actually, the first time I saw Cowboys in the Campfire, they were playing at Tommy was just, as he continues to do, doing unique spots. It was at a boxing ring in a suburb of Phoenix.
That's cool.
It was people were coming in for their lessons and they're looking at, there's a 2-piece playing. They're like, come on in, join the party. We made some new fans that night. So on that note, what's been the most unique place you guys have played, and what is a place like a boxing ring, a unique place that you would want to play?
Unique place that we have played.
I think Factory Underground.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we did a showcase show, like a place called Factory Underground in somewhere in Connecticut. It was
Underground.
Yeah, it was underground. Yeah.
Okay.
That was cool. But a cool place we'd want to play, like a pet shop maybe.
My house is cool.
In a lighthouse. Ooh, now we're talking about language.
A lighthouse or a pet shop.
I'm a kid from Lake Erie, so lighthouse is very nice touch. I like it.
Yeah.
And coming up, that you guys want, it's the Pound Ridge Harvest Festival. That's the one that you guys won the Battle of the Bands that got you on that bill, correct?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And anything beyond that, because I mentioned the Cellar, that's coming up at the end of September. And then the beginning of October is the Pound Ridge Harvest Festival. What else is on the horizon right now that you're going to kidnap Adam to go play?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to kind of lay low for a bit, crank out some more original tunes, get bang with them in rehearsal, start working on the next record in the winter, hopefully.
Excellent.
Even though we don't have the first one out yet.
Well, you always got to think to the next one. What's coming next? Well, I'm definitely looking forward to American Trash and hearing some songs from that, and hopefully have you guys back and we can talk a little bit more fully about that.
Yeah, you'll be our first stop. As soon as it's out, we'll come right back.
Oh, I'm going to hold you to that. So definitely, and I want to get Chetty back to GNR in case they actually decide to play on time. And
Come
so,
on.
and I get and beyond, you guys have an Instagram page and a Facebook page. Anywhere else that people can go and find out about Freedom Rockets, or just
Instagram.
keep your ears open.
Updates of shows, cute pictures of me, and updates on the record, so you know when it's coming out.
Nice. Well, definitely check that out, folks, at Instagram. That's Freedom Rockets Band at Instagram, or just check them out there, Freedom Rockets on Facebook. Well,
And yeah.
Don't forget the face.
Don't forget the Facebook.
I'm 53 years old. You think I'm going to forget Facebook?
Yeah, no, that's why I said Instagram.
Yeah, Snapchat, different story. I can't help you there.
Yeah, you got me on Snap. That's it.
Eric, I just want to say you don't look a day over 30.
Oh.
Go on.
Thank you,
Flattery,
Dr.
gentlemen,
You
will
guys
get
all
you
day.
everywhere on this show. Christine, that would make you looking 25. There we go.
That's
Awesome.
right. I'll take it.
All right. Well, Jimmy, Adam, Luke, Mike / Chetty, and Colin, thank you guys. At Freedom Rockets, so glad to have you on the show, and looking forward, once American Trash comes out, bring you back on, and then we'll crank the tunes while we're talking next time.
Yeah, thank you from all over the
Thank
place
you
for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so
Absolute
much.
pleasure.
All over the place, where the fun sanity never ends.